Hello world, Wave Time here, bringing to you a mod review of the mod Mystcraft. This mod is made by XCompWiz and it is quite a unique mod that adds some very interesting features to Minecraft. What this mod does is it adds things called ages that you write. These ages are pretty much different dimensions that you can customize yourself, and like the Nether, are in completely different worlds. So one of the first things that you would do in this mod is to craft yourself something called a descriptive book. What you need is feathers, one feather, and one book. This will craft a descriptive book. Now the descriptive book has a random age number when you first generate it. What this is pretty much the ID and the dimension folder when you open up your saves. Now before using this book, you have to make sure that you'll be able to get back, because when you use this book, you'll whisk yourself to another dimension entirely, but you need to find a way to get back there. So what you need to do is craft a linking book. All you do is take your book, put it in your inventory, and it'll make a linking book to the exact spot that you're making it. So it linked to right here. Now, all you have to do to go to the age that you wrote is to hold right click, and you're off. And here is one of the randomly generated ages that you can create. As you can see, it's usually all single biome. This one specifically is a taiga biome, and there will be unique features in these ages depending on the symbols that are in the book. More on that later. So for instance, this age has something called an obelisk, basically a spire made of obsidian. Now, if you want to go back to your overworld, all you have to do is use your linking book to get back. Just right click, and it'll drop the linking book where you used it. Now, when you go back to the place that you used your book, you can see that the book you used to link to the age 50 in this case, is sprawled on the ground. So what you want to do is to right click it to put it back into your inventory. Once you went to one age, you'll want to eventually explore a bit more, so we'll need to make some more linking books and also some more descriptive books. But what if you want to put them nice and orderly and you don't want your books to be sprawled all over the ground? What you want to do is craft a linking book stand, which is just crafted with 3 planks, 2 sticks, and it makes a linking book stand. Place it on the ground. It's multi-directional, so if you place it one way, it can go like this, or it can even go in diagonal directions. You'll then want to take your linking book and right-click it to put it on the stand. And there we go. Now make sure, before every time, you use an overworld linking book. You make an overworld linking book so that you can get back. All you want to do is go over to your book, right click it, and it'll generate a unique terrain depending on the linking book. Hey, look, mushrooms over there. Let's just go back. Now you're probably wondering, what would happen if I want to customize my own world? Well, what you need to do is take a writing desk and craft it. It just needs 5 wooden planks, ink sac, and a feather. Place it in the world, and you have this. Now, if you have not enough items installed, the inventory would be a little wonky, so make sure that you do not have that mod installed while you're operating this, or else you'll get a headache. What you want to do is craft a notebook. This notebook is just crafted with 9 pages filling your 3x3 crafting grid. You take the notebook and put it into this slot over here. Now you'll see a bunch of different tabs with some odd writing and specifications, like this is a time tab. What does that do? What you want to do is take the descriptive books that you've traveled to and place them into this grid. As you can see, this is our Mushroom Island one that we went to, with Taga Hills also, and there's a bunch of random symbols that are written when you travel to one. When you travel to an age using a descriptive book for the very first time, it checks if it has symbols inside of it. If it does have the appropriate symbols in it, it will just travel and go to the one that you had designated. Like this one was flat and eternal day, which is in the time tag right here. If it is missing any of this logic, so for instance this one, it would fill in that logic with symbols. So for instance, if you don't put like single biome or any of the biomes, it'll just fill it with random ones. And as you see, there's 3 different biomes in this. That will add instability if it adds any new biomes, which is not a good thing. Now as you can see, this one has no symbols in it because I didn't use it. To add a symbol, all you have to do is click it to add it. Now you see this will be a single biome. I am going to want to make it, hey, let's make a Mushroom Island again. Fog, let's go with Skylands. Light levels, standard. Special terrain features, since I don't have anything, it'll add a bit of instability as it fills those. Normal sunset colors, no terrain features. We got Cave World, I don't think I'll do that. I'll leave that blank. Terrain modifiers, Skylands, again. And we'll keep it Eternal Day. Now, if we travel, speaking of Eternal Day, actually this will be a good contrast. Now, if we travel to this, I gotta make sure it's the specific one. If we travel to this age, we go in, and it'll start building our specific age. Now it's finished rendering, and you see, obviously, this is a Mushroom Island area. There's mushrooms to prove it. Eternal Day, it was nighttime in the overworld, and it is a sky island. And there's some nice red power marble. Let's look around a bit to see if we find any other special things. And also, if you're lucky, you can sometimes find big Buildcraft oil wells that spurt into the air. It's very fun when it's a Skylands and the oil well is just in the middle of the ground, because you see the whole sphere at the bottom, and it's quite an entertaining sight. Now, make sure you have a book with you wherever you are, because if you happen to start falling into Skylands, you better link quickly out, and it'll land you right on the ground and doesn't really change any of your speed. In some of the books that you travel to, you'll find some very interesting formations. I believe it's in the special terrain features. What you can find is something called crystal. When you place the crystal down, it has a light level that you can see, but the light is not what makes this special. Now you're probably asking, hey, what do we do with this portal frame? Well, it's quite simple. If you take your crafting table and take 8 crystals, you can craft them like so to make a book receptacle. What you want to do with this book receptacle is to place it onto your portal. Then you take any form of book, let's go with a new one. Take any form of book whatsoever, descriptive or linking, and put it into the receptacle. What it will do is craft a portal. The portal mechanics are better easily explained if you look at XCompWiz's video on specifically the portal mechanics, but what it does is the crystal connects to the receptacle, and it looks along the entire path that the crystal can travel. What it does from the side is it spreads out unstable portals across in all directions, and then when it hits another crystal, and if it sees that it's a complete path, the portals become stable. Now, like I said, it's better easily described if you actually look at his version of it. So if we go through this into our new world, we see that it is yet another mushroom biome one. Wow, they really love the shrooms in this. Tired of your flat portals though? Fear not. If you make any sort of arrangement of crystals, as long as they stay in the same chunk and they're connected, you can put in a book into the receptacle and it'll make another portal. Now you can easily interchange the book with other books, so it's very easy. And then you just jump in. Because of the portal algorithm that XCompWiz has wrote, you can make some very interesting structures. You probably saw this earlier. All you have to do is make sure that the crystal is connected and that there's some sort of bounding box if you're going to make very geological structures. Just throw it in and you can see that it's a full cube. Now if you break any of the sides, the portal no longer is stable because it is not contained. Because of this, it disappears. You can make many other elaborate structures. So if we actually bring this over to an empty one, if you bring this over and have it connected to the same receptacle by crystals, pull the book out and plug it back in, you can see one's formed here, but another's formed here, linking to the exact same thing. This is because it looks through the crystal and it follows back through the crystal back to the receptacle. So you can do a variety of structures, and they still work. And as you can see, if you drop in any sort of blocks, they travel into that world. So if we drop the remainder of our blocks, then go in, assuming that it builds it very well, assuming that it didn't fall off into the void, you can see that I got my stuff back. You can make a variety of worlds using Mystcraft. All you have to do is take the leap forward into your book. There's also a variety of things that you have to look out for when you are exploring the world of Mystcraft. As you can see, this is something called a decay block, and it is a very dangerous thing. As touched in earlier, this is the thing that shows whether something is unstable or not. If you find this in one of your ages, you better run, because it can wreak havoc to your world. As you can see, it spreads quickly. When it spreads to blocks close to it, it will break what's underneath it and have everything else above it fall with it into the void. Now if we can actually see one of these effects, it brings everything down into the void with it, which is very catastrophic. So let's try that again. And there. Whole huge chunk into the void, just gone like that. This happens when it updates. It just pulls everything in a vertical column above it. Now, instability happens when your descriptive book has to fill in the logic itself. So when you're exploring those first few ages, it's probably best not to get too attached to them, because they can start pulling full chunks out of your world. This also happens when you go into things that are called resource heavy ages that have a bunch of resources, but because of this, they add the risk of having instability. In fact, every single resource heavy age has some of this instability that can occur. Which, if you don't understand this video demonstration, is bad. Well, I hope you had fun in this mod review. If you'd like to check it out, the link to this mod is in the description. Now, make sure to stay tuned for other mod reviews. I'm going to start putting some of them, I think, every week or two to better subsidize my video making and my editing. Wave time, signing off. Have a wonderful day.